Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm here with Adam Winters. I'm Joe Gould, and today we're looking at another OVA, Mega Man, Upon a Star. When I wish upon a star.
When you're done singing, is that the name for all three of these episodes? Because I thought they each had individual titles.
Yeah, they did. So it is Appearance in Japan, Episode 1, Wishing Upon a Star, Episode 2, and Future Beware, Episode 3. And they're kind of the same episode 3 times, but you know, what you gotta do.
One of them's attempting to be a sequel, but I'm not sure that it really is.
Yeah, so the show claims to take inspiration from Mega Man 5. The Mega Man 5 came out in 1992 in Japan and the US, I believe, in December of that year.
I really enjoyed that. First Mega Man game I owned for myself.
Okay. Now, I liked all the Mega Man games. I was a Mega Man fan. I had Mega Man 6. I don't have it anymore.
Ooh.
I
Still
didn't.
got it in the box? Or no, you don't?
There was a tragic occurrence a long time ago, and I'd lost all my NES stuff.
Parents?
No, don't want to talk about it. Can't be helped, but yeah, there was a lot of boxes. That was a very rare game. I don't know what it goes for now. I don't even want to look.
You know, I'd also say, believe it or not, almost all of the Mega Mans, except for maybe 2 and 3, they have shot way, way up in price if you have a complete box set with manual.
Oh, even back in the day, Mega Man 1 was rare. I can't imagine what it costs now.
Yeah.
It was like
I only have them loose, although I think I have 4 and 5 in box, although I probably can't find the box to 5, so that's probably like $150 I can't account for because of the box I can't find.
Yeah. So despite the fact that came out in 92, and this was produced from 1993 to 1994, the OVA was not released to home media until a Japanese DVD in 2002, and then the North American release happened in 2005.
Never knew about this.
I had never heard about this until I was just looking up OVAs, aka original video animation. I think they're all considered animes if they're OVA. I've never heard this term until we did the series.
Mm-hmm.
And then for whatever reason, and I think it's an improvement, just to be clear, when it released in North America, they switched the order of episodes 1 and 2.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really? So in Japan is not number 1?
No. And I don't know why. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. There is a little bit of a disconnect at the beginning of episode 2 where you're like, have they met Mega Man before, the two main kids?
It doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like it. But definitely in episode 1, they have not met him before.
Or the parents.
Oh, yeah, correct.
Yeah, it's a novelty that he jumps out of the TV set.
Yeah. So it makes you wonder if, just because of production, if for some reason in Japan they just got it backwards. They didn't mean to, but I don't know. And throughout the whole 3 episodes / movie, whatever you want to call it, they did this in cooperation with the Japan Center for Intercultural Communications, which is why it basically seems like an educational video throughout as they're talking about Japan, and we learned so much.
Well, it strikes me something they would give to American tourists.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how educational this would be for the people of Japan.
The Mega Man characters are presumably Western in their sensibilities as an American because they have opinions about what side of the road a car should be on and whether Japanese people would even celebrate Christmas too. But I always think of Mega Man as primarily a Japanese influenced franchise, so I don't know what to make of this.
No, it is weird. I mean, I guess in defense of how they presented this, there's nothing necessarily Japanese by Wily or Dr. Light. So maybe we are just, because they've been drawn in the anime type style, their entire history after the first box. Maybe we're reading that into it.
Well, here's another thing I noticed. Whatever is episode 1, the in Japan, the title screen says Mega Man. But in the other 2 episodes, I'm pretty sure it says Rockman, which is the Japanese title. And that just blew my mind. And in the subtitles I read, Dr. Light is called Dr. Wright, which is, again, that Japanese name. And they go with rock and roll. Well, roll's universal, but they go with blues for Proto Man and rock. So again, who is this for? If they're making it for Americans, presumably they would call him Mega Man and use the Western names. But they're also it's in the Japanese language, so it got dubbed many years later into English.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
it didn't get. Well, you're right, actually. Yeah, so I'm assuming it was broadcast in 93, 94 before it came out in DVD. But yeah, not perhaps it's Mega Man on the first episode just because of the DVD release, and
Okay,
they didn't
that
bother
could
going
be.
back to for whatever reason. I assume in the DVD that you had the title screen for the next two episodes. It's possible they just clipped that out. I don't know. It's weird. Like I said, we had never heard of this before watching it.
Weird.
So what do you think of it?
I don't know what to think of it. I really liked the first episode, the end of Japan, and I was hoping that was just going to be everything would continue from there. And then when we got the Wish Upon a Star episode, I just felt like that took forever to get through. Like it was boring me to tears. And then I guess it improved for the final episode, but at the same time, what a weird thing. It leans into the time machine bit after that.
I was entertained by the absurdity of the decisions made in the third episode. I was equally annoyed by Roll.
You think that's intentional?
I
Get
don't.
annoyed by Roll?
I don't know. I don't know what they thought they were doing with that. So episode 1 it kind of picks up with the same kind of premise in some ways as the Super Mario anime that we watched.
Yeah.
And you have a kid playing, in this case, a top-loading NES.
Oh, can I stop you right there and ask more about the Nintendo unit? So, is it an AV Famicom or is it an NES top loader?
It's an NES
Because there
top
are
loader.
slight differences.
Wishbone remote.
How do you know?
Wishbone remote.
No. That when I say the AV Famicom, they're designed to look the same, but they have one important difference, and that's in the name. In Japan, they released it, but you remember the original. So the original Nintendo Entertainment System had audio and visual inputs where you could connect it AV composite. Thing getting the right, you could either do RF or you could do AV composite. The Famicom didn't have that; it was RF only. So when Japan redesigns the Famicom with that Wishbone controller, they add audio, visual, a specific cable that they would use again for the Super Nintendo, N64. The irony is when they did the top loader variant in America, they got rid of the AV input, which is something it had before. So the second NES did not have AV input, only RF.
Well, I think this is semantics.
No. It just because the kid has his AV Famicom connected to his TV's AV inputs, where you could not do that with the American version. But the funny thing is, in Japan episode, the game cartridge in the machine is an NES cartridge. It's gray and tall and has little tabs. In the second episode, I don't think it's that at all. I think it's a Famicom cartridge.
So we can just call it the NES 2. How about that?
We'll call it top loader. Yeah. Top loader. I'll go with that.
I had one of those too. It was so cool. It never
It's
messed
a good
up.
looking machine. Yeah, it's good.
It released in 93. $50.
What a deal. I kind of wanted one, but it was either kind of that or a new Nintendo game. So
I'm looking at the two consoles. There is a difference, and I'd have to go back and watch the episode again. There's a curve. So on the NES 2, where you put the cartridge in, there's like a half circle curve that comes up. On the newer Famicom, it's flat.
Oh, is that for region locking the cartridge?
Probably.
Yeah.
Anyways, getting a little bit off there. So the kids playing Mega Man. Nice hand-drawn Mega Man game. I kind of appreciated that.
Looks great.
I wish we got more of that. And he falls asleep playing the game in the middle of the night. And he left the TV on. And when he drops the controller from falling asleep, Mega Man gets stuck. And he can't move in the game. Wily decides that if he just runs away in the game, he's going to get caught again. So he's going to go run away in the real world. And he pops out of the screen.
It's so easy that he could do that.
Yeah. So he's running loose in Japan at that point. Eventually it's morning. The kid touches the controller. And I'm not sure if he pulls Mega Man out or if Mega Man's able to pop out just because I don't know exactly. But he gets out of the screen too. And then his parents meet him. It's like, this takes weird turns very quickly.
Oh, can we point out when Wily jumps out of the TV, he also jumps out of the window?
Oh, yeah.
I'm amused by that.
It was amusing.
He hits the pavement face first from multi-stories. He leaves an impression on the ground when he hits the pavement.
You might be more amused by that than you should be, but that's
Well,
all good.
there's something similar that happens in the second episode too.
Oh, it's all the same thing over and over again. So Dad meets Mega Man, or they meet Mega Man. Mega Man explains what's going on, that Dr. Wily escapes the game and he's going to go mess up Tokyo. So he needs to go to the biggest city in Japan, and the mom says that the dad can take Mega Man to work, basically.
Yeah.
Because the kid's still got to go to school.
He was probably thinking he had to have a Game Boy to take Mega Man to work, but here we go.
Yeah. And they take the train. It's real crowded, and we get a lesson on the size of Japan and why the trains are crowded.
Mega Man says, "I got no time for this."
Yeah, so he takes himself and just flies off with his puppy dog.
Rush Jet.
Yes. Ultimately, we find out that Wily is building robots at the amusement park. And Mega Man goes to the amusement park after he asks a police officer how to get there. And then Mega Man fights a bunch of robots who then form a Ninja Onslaught / Voltron bot, for lack of a better term.
It's a Shogun robot, right?
Something like that. It's not real strong, though. Later on, we'll see it's not all that it's cracked up to be. But in the meantime, he does whoop Mega Man pretty good and pretty quickly, who says he needs to get some energy. So he goes back to the school to get the kid, to take him home to get the energy from the game, of course.
Out of the TV.
Yeah, out of the TV. And while he's there, we learn that soccer is popular in Japan, along with baseball. And then Wily attacks the school and the robot. Mega Man charges up a soccer ball, kicks it at the robot, hits it right in the gut, and all the little robot jelly beans fall out. It's like a gumball
Turns
machine.
out he didn't need his weapon energy. He just needed a real good charge kick and a soccer ball.
Yeah, maybe that's lost in the dubbing, maybe not.
I don't think so.
I don't think
he
so
just
either.
decides he's going to kick the robot while he's waiting for school to be out.
And
I will say I enjoy the whole subplot of the human kid. I believe his name is
it's like Inji or something.
Yuton. His last name I think is Kobayashi, and his sister's name is Akane. I recognize those from different pop culture references, but that kid is very dedicated to his school schedule all through this little short.
Oh, goodness, yeah. His name's Yuta, by the way.
Yuta, thank you. With 2 U's. Yuta.
Yeah. Yuta useless. That's what.
So Mega Man has come out of the TV. He already wanted to take him to Tokyo, but he's told he got to go to school. So now he's in school. Mega Man shows up. He's going to fight a giant robot. But he tells him, number one, he has to wait till school's out. And after that, he's going to make him wait again. But, yeah, go ahead there. Soccer ball and all that.
Yeah. Well, they don't get Wily. He turns into a ninja and escapes with a smoke bomb. Full outfit and everything.
He's never had that power in the games that I remember.
No. I don't think Mega Man's ever charged up things in the games, has he? Other than himself?
He had the charge kick. Do you remember that? I think it was from Mega Man 5. It was a weapon he picked up from the Choo Choo Train Man.
So that's probably where they're pulling that from then.
And later on, he got a soccer game on Super Nintendo that was kind of unfinished in its programming.
Well, I guess the distinction I'd make is there's a difference between doing a flash kick like Guile and charging up a soccer ball and kicking it.
Yeah.
It's more of a gambit move.
And the charge kick was not great in Mega Man 5, so it's way more effective here than it was in most of the games.
Oh, yeah. So Ninja Wily escapes, and then Mega Man learns about the after-school care in the safe streets of Japan, how they can just go do extra work until 9 p.m. and get home safely and not worry about crime. I wonder if that's still true.
Yeah, there's such a saying called the name for Japanese gang members, Yakuza. That's a pretty big deal in Japan, the Yakuza cult or the underworld.
So ultimately, the kid does decide to skip class and go home and get Mega Man his energy can. He does get it
out of the TV.
Yeah, out of the TV. Then,
so I want to ask the question: Is Yuta the only kid in Japan that plays Mega Man 5 or any Mega Man game?
Well, he obviously has a special cart. That's for sure. He is the
cart. He was playing. It's probably a prototype cartridge? Because it is an NES shaped cartridge, whereas he should be using a Famicom cart. I can buy that explanation for this episode, but not the following ones.
Okay, so where are we at? Mega Man, fully charged up, goes to look for Wily. They decide, just because, that Wily is obviously building his robots at Mount Fuji.
Yep. They do a world tour for educational purposes. We get that too.
And they come to that conclusion based off of intuition, I suppose. And then right after they decide that and they get there, Mount Fuji erupts and a bunch of lava robots come out.
Yeah.
And at this point,
Not Lava Man.
yeah, not Lava
but,
Man. We never really get Lava Man. Well, Proto Man goes to help at this point. And Proto Man and friends. And this is
Akane brings them out of the TV, doesn't she, when she fires Mega Man 5 up again?
Yeah, I think so. And this is a common theme that you'll see in the other episodes. Mega Man goes after Wily, while Proto Man and friends take on the lesser baddies or whatever problem is in the way. So Mega Man goes off. He finds a secret path. You get a little quick kind of cutscene where he kills all the main bots or the main robots very quickly.
The robot masters.
Yeah.
There you go.
The ones that have, Rockman. Not Rockman. That's the one that wouldn't work. All the classic.
Stone Man.
Yeah, Stone Man.
Stone Man.
Yeah.
All the Mega Man 5 robot masters.
Yeah. And he takes them out very quickly. He does have some help.
All at once.
His buddies, his buddies show up too. But yeah, he takes them out all at once, which is also a common theme in these episodes. All the cool robots get taken out very quickly, and you don't get any real cool fight scenes. They pretty much get
one-shotted, each one of them.
Yeah. And then Wily gets into his rocket to escape, and then the kids very quickly set up the NES in the room so they can get him back into the screen. And Proto Man jumps on the rocket and guides it into the game screen.
I don't know how he did that.
I'm not sure either. And then the episode concludes with Mega Man eating dinner with the kids' family and going back to the game world and waving.
With Dr. Wily, too. He's happy to be there.
Yes. Another common theme. All the bad guys wave at the screen at the end. And that's episode 1. And I wasn't sure what to expect out of the other 2 episodes at this point.
I was really excited, but they both let me down to various degrees.
I think episode 1 was much more entertaining than it sounds like. Going back and reviewing it.
It looks great.
Animation looks great in this series. I will say that.
I'd say it has the best pacing of all the 3 episodes as far as how the plot moves along. There's very few moments of sitting around talking about what they're going to do later.
Yeah. And then episode 2, you basically have the same story substituting the robot that he had in that one with a meteor attack.
Ugh.
But everything else is basically the same.
There's a time machine.
There is a time machine, which isn't really used so much in this one. But yeah.
And it takes place from January to July, right?
Something like that.
It's a calendar.
Yeah. So we're going to speed talk through this one. Mega Man fights Wily in the game again. That's how it opens up. The same two kids, get into a fight over the controller, which ends up getting dropped, and Mega Man gets frozen in the game again. And they're fighting over...
I can buy that.
I can too, absolutely. Fair. I like that part. I'm good with it up here. And now the fight's over his sister trying to get Yudi Useless to come to the New Year's dinner for the parents, so they get money.
Gotta eat their black-eyed peas and turnip greens.
And because they're fighting over the controller, Mega Man gets popped out of the screen again. And then you have what almost feels like a new first encounter with the kids. Not quite, pretty close. And for some reason, Wily gets warped to Dr. Wright's lab. And I'm not really sure why.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed it. Did you catch anything as to why?
Yeah. So Mega Man always teleports back after he finishes a level. I have no idea why Wily...
Maybe they thought Wily finished the level.
There you go. It glitched the game enough that the code got mixed up.
Yeah. But Dr. Wright, whatever you want to call him, is working on a time machine with Roll.
Why? It wasn't in the game.
No idea.
Why is he working on a time?
Wily gasses Dr. Wright, kidnaps the girl robot, and he takes the time machine.
I don't think it was his plan to kidnap Roll. He just wanted the time machine, but she interfered with him, so it was easier to just bring her along at that point.
Yeah, well, he tied her up. So Mega Man learns about New Year's in Japan while this is taking place. Wily crashes. At that point, Wily goes to the real world, and he crashes outside the kid's house. Not real sure how he got there.
Can we linger on the crash? The crashes are some of my favorite parts of this whole enterprise.
I can tell. Let's linger.
Yeah, he's got his little machine parked or crashed at street level. Roll is still KO'd in the back. And Wily has been ejected from the machine. He's laying on the pavement. He's twitching his leg like he's Apollo Creed in Rocky IV after the Drago fight. Oh, man.
Oh, I think you need to give it another laugh.
Mega Man, you would think, would have all the time in the world to get down there. Somehow Wily recovers, gets back in the machine, and warps before Mega Man can land on the ground. And I'm very much disappointed. When Mega Man lands on the ground, there's just no impact. And I guess that's game accurate. He kind of has this sort of fairly weightless approach whenever he jumps and lands. It's just always a constant. It's not like there's any momentum, but it was just a bit of a missed opportunity, I think.
Well, don't forget that before he flashes away, he fills in Mega Man about his plan to conquer Japan again.
Forgot about that.
So he has time for a speech. And
Yeah.
then I think Dr. Wright at this point fills in Mega Man on what's going on.
Through the TV, right?
Yeah, through the TV that Wily has stolen the time machine. And Wily uses the time machine to capture meteors, and he plans to destroy Japan with them. We later find out that he's taking the meteors, which don't seem quite big enough, and making them robot meteors, which really just means they put a rocket on the back of it, I think. But, you know.
Yeah.
I think what they're trying to say is whatever he's doing to them allows them to get through the atmosphere and not burn up. I think that's what they're going for.
That's a plot point later.
Yeah, but when they first describe it, you get the impression he's going to take all these little meteors and make them real big. But that's not what he does. So then Dr. Wright gives Mega Man a special pair of sunglasses and a surfboard. Because apparently...
Just like Back to the Future 2.
Yeah.
He gets the hoverboard.
Because apparently whenever Wily time travels, he leaves a time tunnel behind him. So he can get in.
But you can only see with the...
And I love how they say, somehow the surfboard will allow you to do that. They don't even attempt to say why. It's quite funny. A little throwaway line. And then...
Who cares?
He takes a trip in the time tunnel. Ultimately, they learn that they have about 2 months to come up with a way to stop Wily and his Death Star that he's building in space.
I think we've neglected the fact that all the Japanese festivals keep happening while all this is playing out.
Oh, yeah, we keep learning about them, too.
Do you remember we had the Girls' Day? I guess this is still up. We're caught up. Wily is cutting in on a Girls' Day festival that takes place in February, and Mega Man has just followed him through the time tunnel on the hoverboard.
Yeah, I think the Boys Festival is in episode 3, is that right?
No, the Boys Festival is in May. And it has the fishes.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't remember what happened in March and April.
Probably the fast forward button.
Oh, maybe the girls... Maybe we skipped something in February. A holiday I don't remember. Maybe the girls' festival's in March. Girls' Day.
Something has to happen in March. I don't know.
There's something that happens on July 7th. July 7th's really important.
Well, that's when Wily destroys the world.
It was a holiday.
Well, yeah. It's where they wish upon the stars.
Oh, that's the Wish Day. July 7th. Wish upon the Star Day. Yeah, that's so yeah, the Boys Festival's in May, girls in February. Wily is a bit of a creeper. March, I don't know.
Well, anyways, they have 2 months to come up. They have 2 months to come up with a plan, and they basically turn the dog into a space dog to get him to fly up there with Mega Man. And everyone wishes on the stars for Mega Man, and he flies to space to stop Wily. And Mega Man and friends take care of the meteors. Well, actually, really, his friends take care of the meteors, while Mega Man goes to Wily, a la the last episode when they were taking care of the lava pit monsters. And Wily goes, and there's this giant robot that he makes, which is kind of like a Rock'em Sock'em robot where the hands can fly off and then come back. And ultimately, Mega Man defeats him by hitting the gaps between his hands and his wrist, and then shooting him in the belly button.
Yeah, what did he call his giant robot? Because it was not from the games, which Mega Man 3 had the Gamma giant robot, but they didn't use that design.
Yeah, I didn't catch the name of that one. I'm not sure if they even said it.
All right.
Not Meteor Man, though.
No, yeah.
And then they transport Wily back to Earth, despite his fears of becoming space trash in the journey. And Mega Man goes home.
Proto Man did a lot in this episode, I think.
No, he did. He showed up a lot more. Would have liked to see more of Proto Man throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they take Wily back, and then Mega Man goes home. And I think they wave again.
Yes, even Wily is waving through the TV.
Did you have something else you wanted to mention?
When they're in outer space and they're going up against all the meteorites, there's a scene where the meteorite, a big one, goes at beat the little bird robot, and Mega Man's afraid for him. And I said, that shouldn't be a problem. And I was really glad when the animation confirmed my belief that would be no problem for Beat. Because he was an invincible juggernaut in Mega Man 5. He was the special weapon you got for collecting all the letters scattered across each level. And once you got him, he would break that game for the most part.
No, he took out that meteor. He didn't do anything else useful in the entire show, but, you know.
Yeah. He could take everything out very quickly.
And then we get episode 3, which by default was an improvement over episode 2.
And a sequel. It's a direct sequel.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So the episode starts with Mega Man seeing Rolls in her new outfit, who really wants to help him.
She's got a Buster costume. She's Roll Woman instead of Rock Man.
No, it's like if the Care Bears had an armor, she was wearing it.
Yeah. Or a Samurai Pizza Cat.
Even with a giant heart.
That. Yeah.
And basically, she spends the entire episode getting in trouble because she really wants to help him and doesn't take Mega Man's advice, which is stay out of the way. You're going to cause a problem.
There's a reason Dr. Light turned Rock into a super fighting robot, not Roll.
Yes.
Might have been just because he's old-fashioned that way, but might have been because he knew they weren't quite the same in their AI programming.
Oh, yeah. Her voice is so annoying, and it really comes through in this one. So, Proto Man shows up, also they're in the game. But then the kids call for Mega Man. I guess he can hear them through the screen. I don't know. And they invite him for a parade where he can learn about kimonos and Japanese festivals. Him and Roll.
The 3-7 festival. The 357 festival. No, that's in November. I don't even remember what time. We go through the rest of the calendar year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we go through the rest of it.
Yeah. And then Wily hits Proto Man in the back and escapes the game. Proto Man does manage to grab onto his upgraded, what they call it, the Skulker.
Skull. In the games, it was called Wily Machine 4 from Mega Man 4. But yeah, I think they call it something like a Skulker, which has a giant skull on the front of it.
Yeah, the name works. He grabs on the back and gets pulled out of the game too. Apparently Wily doesn't recognize it, and Wily escapes, and Proto Man's laying in a kid's room, Yuka Useless's room.
Oh yeah.
And then they're at this festival with fireworks, and then Wily threatens Japan with a fireworks face.
That's an Eggman move right there. That's worthy of Dr. Eggman.
Well, and they don't explain how he does it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Drones. He probably just got all his drones to give the impression of fireworks.
Yeah. So Mega Man goes home with the kids. Proto Man kind of fills them in on what happened. They go out looking for like a day and a half for Wily. Can't find him. They decide he left Japan. They come back, and Dr. Light gives them the repaired time machine.
Here we go. This thing really goes off the rails from here on out.
Yeah. So Mega Man and Roll go 1 year into the future to see exactly, one, whether or not Wily is successful, and they should even worry about it, and two, to see how he did it. And they find that Japan is destroyed, and what remains of Japan seems to have broken off of the earth and floated up into the sky.
That bit is my favorite reveal of the episode, just because I was hoping they would give us the Ain't Nobody Left reveal, and they did, but
no
the floating
bones,
island
though.
bit is
Where's
pretty
the
weird.
bones?
I know. It would have been nice to enjoy that, too.
And they see Wily and his robots up in the sky, and right before they can go and take out Mega Man and his time machine, they go back to the present.
Which is everybody's fine again. And they have a fun little discussion about Roll wants him to fight all the robot masters, and he gets by most of them. But again, their AI is not the same. And Mega Man tells her, it's not going to change anything if I beat them all now. So let's just get out of here.
I like that little common sense line that he threw in there. Like, it does
their
no good
AI is
whatsoever.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Not the same.
So then they decide, I don't know why, just to go 1 month in the future and see if anything's changed. It's like they're it's like they're tipping the toes in the water.
So 1 month is okay.
Why don't they just wait a month?
Yeah.
Do some planning.
They want to use that time machine, and they want to knock off all their festivals on the calendar. And I forget what festival they're able to knock off by going 1 month ahead.
I think I don't remember. But they find the family on their patio, and they start filling them in on whatever holiday we can't remember. And then a typhoon hits.
They say it's September, right?
Yeah, it's
they
the fall
it's
season.
September.
Yeah. So a typhoon hits, and then we see a weather report, and then we have a weather lesson that apparently for Japan, this typhoon does not indicate a real problem. But then a stronger typhoon hits, and Mega Man's worried, but the kid Yuki Useless is not.
Yeah, what year was the big one there in Japan? The major typhoon. Is that 2010 or something?
I know what you speak of, but I do not recall even the decade.
Uh-huh. That kid ain't lived enough, that's all I say.
Might live too much. Then they decide to go another month in the future.
This time it's... Yeah.
Like, what?
No, they go backwards a month, don't they?
No,
they go into the past.
Not yet. They go another month in the future, and the kids were about to have an athletic competition. And then
I thought they were all in their underwear at first.
well, they kind of were. Who likes short
Yeah.
shorts?
Some kind of competition.
Yeah, the girl was ready for
Gymnastics or-
volleyball, and he was ready for bicycling. I don't know. I guess
There
running.
you go.
And then Dr. Wright says that Wily has created a big typhoon robot that's making typhoons. So I guess they jumped a little too far ahead.
But he has a weapon for him, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, Mega Man steals a fan, some kind of game fan. I'm not even sure what it's from. And he takes it to Dr. White, who converts it into a weapon. Then they take the time machine to go to the past. I don't even know if they say how long, and fight the
Roll in Mega Man, right? Yeah.
Yeah, roll in Mega Man to go into the past. I don't think they said exactly how long, and fight all the big typhoon robot before it gets all the way to Tokyo.
Man, this sounds like a Godzilla movie that never happened.
Thank goodness. And then Mega Man starts fighting it successfully, to be said. And Roll wants to help, so she takes the time machine, which I guess it has a weapon on it. I don't even know.
What a horrendous decision to use the time machine for this.
She flies it right into the typhoon, where it gets blown around and destroyed. So Mega Man is stuck in the past at this point.
Which is not a big deal, though. I mean,
Are
you
there
think
two
it's
Mega
a big
Men?
deal. There should be. If he went back to a time he was already, unless it was one of the days he skipped over.
How many new timelines got created in their back and forth little adventures they're doing here?
They are so irresponsible with their carousing of the space-time continuum. Dr. Emmett Brown.
Roll has no business in time travel. She is not mature.
Oh, man. Nobody's really qualified for time travel. We watch Back to the Future, but Roll especially is not qualified for time travel.
So if you think about it, they're basically Terminators. They are robots bouncing around in time, trying to take out Dr. Wily.
The Typhoon Machine, the Typhoon Man robot.
Yeah, I mean, the whole episode is Terminator Mega Man and Terminator Roll trying to take out Dr. Wily to change the future.
Speaking of terminate her, it felt like Roll gave her death speech to Mega Man on the beach after she crashed and busted the machine all to pieces.
Oh, I knew we couldn't be so lucky.
He just takes her back to the TV in the past. So that Dr. Light can then fix her up. And she wants to be fixed up in 1 month's time. So I guess they'd take her back to the original months where she was going to celebrate the 3/7 festival in her new kimono.
Yeah, and even though she's an ageless robot, she will be 7 years old today.
Yeah, she's identifying as 7 years old.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, where were we at? Roll gets repaired. About the time she's ready to finally go to that festival, Wily decides to create the strongest typhoon in the history of Japan.
Remind me, where's he at? Is he on a meteor or something? Or is he on that floating island already?
I think he's on the floating island, because that's where he's got a base there. Yeah, he's up there.
Which the Sonic Mega Man crossover.
Why does the floating island exist? Like, what is floating up there? Like, I don't understand this.
It's weird because it's supposed to be our reality that they're living in. And so it would be perfectly okay in a game reality that there's just random floating islands, but this is supposed to be the real world, quote unquote.
Yeah, they make the impression that a typhoon's going to rip up Japan at the base and cause it to go up into the air.
Now, if I heard Wily in my dub, he was going to destroy regular Japan, but then he was going to copy it and recreate it on his floating island.
Well, maybe I missed that. That's possible.
I gave up at that point, trying to figure that plot out.
Yeah, it's unclear for watching the same dubs, by the way. But,
oh, yeah.
So Mega Man says, we have no time machine, no more second chances, do or die at this point.
Can Dr. Light not build a new time machine and then go back in time to give it to him?
This is Mega Man logic here.
Does the game world get destroyed if the real world Japan gets destroyed?
Yeah. So Roll's dressed up for the festival. Typhoon starts. Mega Man and friends go to stop it. Mega Man takes, but the bird flies him through a tunnel that Proto Man makes with the fan weapon, something like that. So Mega Man gets up to the floating island, finds the base, gets his rear end handed to him by the new robot, Typhoon Man, I believe.
Yeah, sure.
And then,
not in the game, but fine.
Right before Typhoon Man's about to blow Mega Man off the edge of the mountain, Proto Man shows up, and they tag team their weapons, and it takes one hit for Typhoon Man to blow up. Mega Man agrees not to take Wily back to the game world. Instead, he takes him to jail, or says he's going to at least.
That happens at the end of every Mega Man game. Supposedly, he takes him to jail.
Yeah, though in this one, immediately after taking him to jail, we see Santa Wily paying for his crimes by dropping Christmas presents, along with Mega Man in their Santa hats and their Robo Reindeer, to make up for all of the bad things he did.
Well, it's kind of like what was that guy in the Heatmeister Snow Miser special?
Heat
It was
Miser?
Jack Frost, right? No, that's a different guy in Rankin Bass. The North Wind.
Yeah, I think that's
Mr.
right.
Northwind.
I think that's right.
That's about the same punishment he gets. Now, if I recall, at least one giant typhoon wave did cover Japan, and it wasn't time travel undue.
Do what?
Like when Mega Man and Proto Man were going to the floating island, at least one giant typhoon wave covered Japan.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there was one big type. Yeah, it definitely happened. And they don't resolve whether or not that caused permanent damage.
Yeah.
Seems like Christmas presents from
Just give out some presents for Christmas, Wiley. You're good.
Yeah. So was the screenshot you sent me legitimate?
Well, it's not from an official channel. It's somebody's upload of the ADV dub with subtitles that are presumably more accurate to the Japanese text. So in this not the dubbing, but in the subbing, you see a whole lot of four-letter words that both Wily and Mega Man will use throughout the special. Not necessarily the most colorful four-letter word you're thinking of, but the one that has to do with a bit of excrement. And in the English dub, they just make it very generic, like gosh, golly, gah, gua, but there's a lot of it.
I have a hard time believing that the strong language would have been the intended dubbing.
This screams
kid movie. This screams kid movie.
Well, Japan is a lot more, when it comes to stuff like that, it's a lot more permissive, but I'm not quite sure what the intent of the vocabulary really should be. But it makes it a whole lot funnier when you're watching the subtitle version of this. You remember that Ninja Turtle OVA? Some of those came up in the subtitles.
It's been a long time since I've seen that one. No, this whole movie, though, screams kiddie movie, like made for the 7 and the 8-year-olds, which is why...
ages 3 to 7, I guess.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem as likely that was the intended there, but it was funnier.
It may not be considered quite as offensive in Japan to make those kind of remarks. But again, as somebody who was kind of suffering through episodes 2 and 3, I needed a little bit like that just to keep me going.
So in terms of overall thoughts, I like the animation in this thing. Kind of true to the games, the spirit of what you thought the characters would look like. I especially liked Wily. Yeah. He was by far the best character in the whole thing.
Yeah.
The action I thought was pretty lackluster throughout. Very little of it resembled the games except for the opening scene in each, especially the first one, of course, which is copying it. No cool robot fights. Like
not many.
I liked the premise of the first episode. It's a shame that all 3 episodes had the same premise, same plot, same structure. Even in how they resolved it, they did the same things. I questioned at the time why there was so much education in this cartoon. Found out it was sponsored by the Japanese government.
It's not like there was enough education either if they really wanted it for that kind of purpose.
No, it was an awkward amount. It was just like...
For instance, when Wily crashed the time machine in episode 2 and was on the pavement twitching his legs, they could have taken the opportunity to promote seatbelt safety, helmets when you ride bicycles. They could have really done a lot with that while he was there twitching on the ground.
Yeah. And underage driving whenever Roll was around. But yeah.
Oh, they could have totally done that. Make sure you can be a licensed driver. Mega Man holds up. He pulls a license out of his helmet, maybe. He had absorbed the power of a licensed driver with his copy ability.
Made the note, less Roll, more Proto Man, please.
Yeah.
They could have switched those 2 out and I'd been happy.
The show really fell in love with Roll in episode 2, and I guess they wanted Akane to have a friend. But even then, she's not in the movie enough to really justify that.
And then we have a different order of the episodes for the US. I think it improves it. I don't understand how you would show these in episode 2 and then 1 and then 3 and it makes sense.
Yeah, it's rough.
Do you have any other thoughts?
The continuity gets really screwy, even if it's intended as a loose follow-up to the Mega Man 5 game. Why does Proto Man expect a showdown with Mega Man in episode 3? It's kind of... Wily's still talking like he's an ally, even though they're not by that point in the games.
Yeah, no, it was odd at the beginning of episode 3, after Proto Man's a friend in episode 2, that it's implied that he might not be a true friend at the beginning of the 3rd episode.
I mean, really, he just wants the opportunity to battle with him.
He gets bored easily.
Why? It doesn't have anything to do with Mega Man 5.
No, to say this is Mega Man 5 is like the biggest stretch ever. Like, they have some
What's
characters. That's about it.
They have the game cart. I don't think we ever see the game cart in the third episode.
So what do we rate this off of? Energy canisters? Time
Uh,
machines? Care Bear rolls?
Kimonos.
I don't want anything to celebrate roll.
What about a fish flag from the boys' day?
Fish flags. I'm good with that.
The fish flags. Or Santa, or Robo Reindeers from the end of that. Robo Reindeers.
We could do that. Your choice.
I go with Robo Reindeers.
Why don't you go first? You're nicer than I am.
As a whole thing, I guess I give it a 3 Robo Reindeer out of 5. I'd give the first episode, which may be the second episode, Mega Man in Japan, I'd give that a 4 out of 5. The second episode, Upon a Star, which is supposedly it's the titular episode of this set, I might give it less than 2. It just felt forever for this plot to move along. It's like, get on with it already. And for the last episode, it's so weird. I don't know if I give it 3 or 2.5, but I give the whole thing just a 3 out of 5 overall.
All right, well that seems to average out a 4, a 2, and a 3. I'm a little bit torn. It's not really a good Mega Man movie.
It's not a movie either.
Well, we'll pretend it's not a good Mega Man OVA. How about that?
No,
because there's not a lot of Mega Manning going on in this thing. You just have Mega Man characters hanging out with some useless children.
Yep.
And doing some lack of logical or making decisions that are not following logic, so to speak.
It reminds me of one of the Godzilla movies, right?
Yeah,
the one where Manila,
the one I hate,
comes to play in the human world. So that's in America we called that Godzilla's Revenge for some reason.
Yeah, because they wanted to trick people into coming to the theater.
Oh, we want your money. What we want.
It was a German movie poster is what that was. So episode 1, I did enjoy. I like the setup. I like the art at the beginning. I thought it was like absurdly amusing with the parents.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the first time that I saw the plot.
Yep.
So I'll give it 3. The second episode, man, it just drug so bad.
Oh,
so I'll give
a time machine. It still drags.
Oh, I know. It wasn't even the worst use of a time machine. So I'll give it a 1. I really didn't enjoy it. Episode 3, as a Terminator fan, I'm tempted to give it a 0. It is the worst Terminator movie of all time. What can I say? But it was amusing just how stupid the decisions were. So I'll give it a 2. So a 3, a 2, and a 1, that's 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2. It gets 2 Robo Reindeer for me.
All right. So we got 5 Robo Reindeer total.
The other thing, too, is this may be in terms of the OVAs. I know we didn't like the Ninja Gaiden one. It just wasn't very well done. But for the most part, the OVAs we've watched, you would encourage a fan to go check them out. And with the movies, same thing. With this, I can't really with a straight face tell a Mega Man fan that they're missing something significant by not checking this out.
It's ironic to say there are better animated Mega Man options out there because most of them are terrible, but there are better options than this.
Yeah, and if I did encourage them to watch it, I might encourage them to watch number 1 and 3 and just skip the second one.
Yeah.
Because this is, like, when you watch all 3, it is a full hour and a half.
Maybe longer.
Yeah. So if you're going to watch all 3, I recommend go on YouTube, put it on 1.25 speed.
Yeah,
you won't miss much. It works just fine. Or if you want to watch some regular speed, watch the first and the third episode. It'll take you about an hour, maybe a little bit less, and you'll see the higher points. But yeah, I give it 2.
Yeah, that's fair. So I want to add too. Wily hints at the end of the last episode that he's going to build a robot Santa to take over Japan, and that probably unintentionally that would tie into a Futurama plot. I don't know if you're familiar with that show.
I'm familiar with the series, but I'm not sure what plot you're referring to.
The robot Santa Claus who became the most evil thing on the planet.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one.
It might be a worthy follow-up, somebody to merge those universes together. That Dr. Wily was responsible for the evil Santa in the year 3000 who took over everything.
So, all right. Well, that's been Mega Man When I Wish Upon a Star. Not my best note there.
Wish they could have done a better second episode.
I wish any of this felt like a Mega Man game. Like,
yeah,
just any of it.
Would have been
as much as nice. We didn't like Ninja Gaiden, at least there was ninjas jumping around. Like,
yeah, it could have been a plot from a game easily. It just wasn't a great plot.
Yeah. Like I said, I guess they had some political thing with education they were working on. But of all the characters to pop out of the video game into the real world. I just don't think Mega Man's the man.
No.
But at least we never got a Care Bear role game. Ugh.
Would have been interesting, wouldn't it?
You can call it interesting.
Oh.
What was that?
Phone went off. My phone went off.
Old school ringtone right there.
Yeah.
All right.
That's me.
Well, that's been Mega Man. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'd forgotten all about the Ninja Turtle thing. We might have to work that in.
Well, we could do a Ninja